We're going to talk a little bit about not only dreaming all the things you want to do as an email marketer, but how you can actually execute against those. MessageGears is an email software platform that works with a group that we call the super senders. Large volume senders, B2C brands that have hundreds of thousands or millions of people in their database, and you send hundreds of millions or billions of emails a year. This group of emailers have unique needs, and we're going to talk about that, and there's some unique challenges based on the way the industry works today. Chick-fil-A, a great Atlanta brand. So we are all experiencing pretty awesome personalized experiences with the brands that we interact with every day. Chick-fil-A is a client of ours. Actually, they're a joint client of ours with Brightwave. I know there's a couple of Brightwave folks here today, an email agency based in Atlanta. And Chick-fil-A has a great app that tracks what you buy when you go into the store. It gives you specials based on what you buy. It personalizes the experience, because when you go into the store, people know who you are and they call you by name. And every email that we send out on Chick-fil-A's behalf has the manager's picture on the email of the store they go to. It gives an incredibly personalized experience in ways that create affinity and get you coming back to the store. Another, coincidentally, Atlanta brand, Delta. I'm a diamond medallion on Delta, so I know Delta very well. This is a dubious honor, to be sure, but Delta has really great personalized service. They know who I am. When I sit down in the seat, they come up to me. They know I'm a million miler. They know where I'm heading, where I've gone, whether I'm traveling with my family, whether I'm traveling by myself, which is likely for work. They know what drinks I've ordered in the past. A really incredible personalized experience across every channel, by the way. I know they're a Movable Ink client, so I get the benefit of that kind of personalization across push and SMS, as well as email, to give me what I need, and again, to create brand affinity. And of course, Starbucks has an amazing experience around getting you what you want, getting you in and out the door, and while also creating loyalty and moving on. There's a great quote from Brandon Witcher at Forrester. Each time a customer is exposed to an improved digital experience, their expectations for all digital experiences are reset to a new and higher level. I think this is intuitively true, right? It is, so when you have these kind of great brand experiences, it sticks out like a sore thumb when you don't achieve that same experience from another brand across any of the channels in which they communicate. And it's just unfortunate that email is kind of lagging behind the rest of the digital industry and channels in providing these great customer experiences. There's certainly examples of that. Movable Ink is a great reason why there's a lot of examples of that. But by and large, the industry is still lagging behind. So how do we catch up as an industry and use the tools that we have in front of us? But let's talk about some examples first. We were sitting around in the marketing room putting together this presentation, and we were talking about, well, what are some real-world email experiences that have been lacking and that kind of hurt the brand that we're supposed to be enhancing their experience by sending you an email? So one of our email marketers at MessageGears said he just bought Beyonce tickets for him and his wife. This is a real picture we pulled off the internet. Beyonce, blink twice if you're wearing this outfit against your will. But he spent a lot of money on floor seats to Beyonce and Jay-Z concert and was very excited about it. And the next day, he gets an email that says, they're still on sale, you can still get your tickets. So now he's very concerned. Well, it's sold out now. Did my ticket not go through? I thought I got a confirmation email. You know, the following day, he gets an email, one last chance, don't miss the concert. Well, not only the concert sold out, but he had bought tickets. And instead of the vendor following up with, here's great parking spots around the stadium, or here are places to eat before the event, right? The email channel failed this customer and failed the brand. Pretty basic stuff. And then another marketer in the room raised his hand. He just booked a trip to San Diego with his family. Booked a hotel room, and it was the same exact experience. The next day, come back and finish booking your vacation. He had to log back in the website to make sure he did actually book it. And he was a loyalty customer of theirs, so there's no excuse for getting these types of remarketing emails when he had booked the hotel. And so again, what was a positive experience thrown into a negative one. And these are just basic examples, and there are many others. So this is stock photo Bob, who is an email marketer on his way to the office this morning, waiting on the subway, downtown, going to Midtown. And so when Bob goes to work every day, it's not that he doesn't know that that's a bad experience. It's not that he doesn't want to do all these amazing and incredible things. And I love the attitude of the gentleman from Anheuser-Busch talking about just go out there and do it, get it done, shake things up. How do you execute on these great ideas? Bob has great ideas, but the problem with Bob executing them is the tools and the data sets that he has available as an email marketer. And it really impacts everybody in the room. We just did this survey of email marketers to say what percent of your work is strategic versus tactical in nature. What percentage of your work is dreaming and doing versus just executing the same old thing every day. And for the folks that have the majority of their work strategic, 81% say they want to stay in email marketing. And for the folks in email that say, I do very tactical day-to-day work and can't execute the great ideas that I have because of limitations with our software, half say they want to stay in email marketing. So I think this is also intuitive, but it's an issue. And how do we get by it past this so we can start dreaming and doing? Well, there's a structural reason why it's hard for email marketers to give these kind of personalized experiences. Your colleagues down the hall that run the website are able to deliver incredibly personalized experiences when somebody goes to your website and logs in. They can give personalized offers and content and coupons and geo-specific content, and email is not that easy, but you have access to the same data, you have access to the same tools. Why is that? Well, it's because the industry is wrapped around these SaaS ESPs, these cloud-based email marketing providers. When for the super senders, as we like to call them, all your customer data is local. All your PII, all their buying history, everything you know about your customers is stored in your marketing database behind your firewall. But your ESP sits off in the cloud. And so this disconnect between the data is what's preventing you from ultimate success. When it just makes kind of too much sense to have at least the data touching portions of your ESP sit right on top of your data. So anything you can do to bring your data closer to your ESP, closer to your email software technology, it eliminates virtually every barrier to doing anything you want or need to do as an email marketer. MessageGears happens to be a hybrid cloud technology where we do things in the cloud like sending and rendering emails that don't need to touch your data, but anything that touches your client data, from audience creation to dynamic content to triggered journeys to anything and everything around the email creation, your data never leaves your firewall. So as an email marketer, you're not just limited to the data that's allowed to leave your premise, you're only limited to every piece of data you have within your organization. There's no data mapping, there's no syncing, there's no lag time. All of the things that we as an industry have been institutionalized around go away. And finally, technology should liberate you, not limit you. I think, again, our gracious hosts at Movable Inc. do a wonderful job of this, of liberating marketers to do what they need to do instead of being held back. But this is how I think we all feel when we walk into the office every day. We have these dreams, and but there's this chasm we need to cross before we can actually achieve them. So let's talk about building that bridge and how we get that done. MessageGears is one way to do that. Movable Inc. in combination with MessageGears is actually extremely powerful. So we'd be happy to talk to you all today about that. So let's go through some examples. Ebates is a client. And Ebates, when they started as a customer, they were on one of the big marketing cloud ESPs. And the day we launched, they said, God, we've been spending 9 months trying to get this dynamic personalized welcome series just like we want it. It's been moving data back and forth, manual processes, getting multi-departmental buy-in. There's ETL data syncs we've had to QA and do and then redo. And it's still not exactly like we want it, but it's getting there. It's like, can you replicate that in your system now that we're launching? Well, we got that up that afternoon. Took about 3 hours instead of 9 months because, again, it's paradigm shifting, access to all your data in real time. So we implemented it in an afternoon. That program was 45% increase in subscribers, and they were able to implement enhancements they had 2 years out with us almost immediately. Chick-fil-A wanted to redesign their newsletter to be completely dynamic and tile-based. For all the kind of personalization that I was talking about. They weren't able to do this. They were on one of the big marketing cloud ESPs for a variety of reasons, but not the least of which is half of their data that their marketing team was looking at on their CRM system wasn't in their marketing cloud ESP because of PII concerns. And so they're like, well, how am I supposed to personalize when I can't see that data in my email platform, in my email tool? Well, combining those two things together, they are able to create a single campaign that creates 500 plus different variations of content based on the individual and the data that they have about that individual. And what's even better is because they're able to personalize, their response rates in these email went through the roof. 500 plus email versions per deployment, like I said, 500% increase in membership, 20% increase in conversion rate. And I can tell you they're sending 3 times as much email now as they were when they started just over a year ago because the response rates have jumped so incredibly. It's a viable tool for them, where before they looked at themselves as a mobile company. And now email is a viable channel for them with great response rates that's creating endearment instead of ostracization for their clients. Finally, Expedia is a client. They had this dream to greatly increase sophistication. They're a massive sender with tens and tens of millions of customers. And so sending personalized email at scale was a big problem for them. Moving from one of the big marketing cloud ESPs to MessageGears enabled them to decrease their IT costs for supporting their former ESP by 50% and increase their email ROI by 100%. So, dream and do. And I'll say one other thing about hybrid cloud technology. It makes your job easier because you can actually implement things that you've always wanted to do and you can't do. It improves ROI, so it'll make your boss happy. But something that we don't lead with, but it's also not quite as expensive as the other ESPs. We don't have to store your data. We don't have to take your data where it lives, ship it up to a cloud environment that we support, and maintain it there and bear the cost of that. So therefore, we pass those savings on to you, and then as a sophisticated marketer, one of the super senders, you can use that budget to do great things with that money, like work with Movable Inc. or expand with your agency or some combination to do all the things you need to do to execute your programs. So we asked, look at the time, we asked this group to fill out some forms online, and we got a great response. Like, what is your dream? What is your email dream? And what's preventing you from achieving that dream? So I'm going to read a few of these, and then we'll take it to the audience. And see if you can see a recurring theme here. Somebody wants a full customer journey with dynamic and personalized content. Well, that's pretty straightforward. What's preventing them? A platform that can handle the data that sits behind their firewall. Somebody says, I dream of being able to execute multi-channel journeys that are not manual. So if a user doesn't get an email, for example, let's send a push notification. Currently, the data sources are not talking to each other. This is a big issue with a lot of ESPs. Having a omni-channel platform, certainly across messaging channels, email, push, and SMS, we think is critical. Another one says, automated campaigns based on customers' on-site action and email engagement. The previous panel just talked about how to do that with Movable Inc., which is awesome. You can also do that with our platform by reading things directly in your database, or a combination of the two is even more powerful to do everything you need across website actions and anything else that's going on. Email campaigns have content personalized based on their life cycle stage. Again, Why can't you do this? Because of data and ESP capabilities. This data disconnect is what's causing the issues of the clients. Now, a couple of you were brave enough to say, I can mention your name here, so I'll do that. So Laura with NBC Sports, I don't know if she's in the audience or not, but Laura talks about right now they're sending preference-based sports newsletters 3 times a week. And here's the crazy thing. It's a manual process that requires 5 hours to build a single mail-in. And what they like to do is send this across all sports and all affinities. So how can you do this to make it less manual and make it more data-driven? Again, it's just about access to data, and we'd love to talk to you about that. And I could go on and on. Jamie at Road Scholar had a great one about geo-targeting based on location, and Billy Bohan at Virgin had they talked about a nurturing campaign based on behavioral data. So again, these are all the same theme, right? How do I leverage the data that I already have access to? That's the crazy thing, just not access in my email platform. So it's just about using technology that helps you to liberate yourself instead of limiting yourself. Working with great vendors like Movable Inc., great agency and strategic partners, but finding technology that doesn't hold you back. And that's cost appropriate. Thank you guys very much.